Howdy everyone, and welcome back to The More You Grow. I'm out here at the school garden today getting a little bit of work done, trying to get everything cleaned up, and I realized that it's time to harvest all the garlic that was planted. Last fall the students planted heirloom garlic and it's ready to go now. It's ready to harvest. So if you grew garlic at home, you may be wondering, when do I harvest my garlic? What is the best way to harvest my garlic? And how do I preserve it or cure it to where it can last all year long for use in the kitchen? Well, today I'm going to show you how we harvest the garlic and how we get it ready to cure. So let me bring you in a little bit closer and let me show you the signs to look for to know when your garlic is ready. So the way you can tell on this garlic here is look at the bottom leaves here. See how they're starting to turn yellow? I'll give you a little bit of close-up in a minute. But these bottom leaves are starting to die back and the tips of the leaves are as well. That's how you know this garlic has reached maturity and it's ready to harvest. It's just gonna start dividing now if we don't harvest it. So the way you'll know with soft neck garlic though, is a lot of times the stalks will just start to fall over on the ground. You'll see them bent over and just falling on the ground. So see here, these bottom leaves are starting to die back. So that's the signal for when you need to harvest your garlic. So now let's talk about how to harvest these to where we don't break the stems and we get nice garlic ready for curing. All right guys, so the best way to harvest your garlic is to loosen them up from the ground before you try to pull, because these may seem like they're just shallow. They're gonna be easy to just pull out right under the ground, but they got some deep roots on them. A lot of times you'll break those stems if you try to pull them out without trying to loosen them first. If you break that stem, you're not going to be able to cure it properly. It's just not a good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a turning fork and we'll try to get a little ways out from the garlic so we don't stab it, and try to loosen them out of the ground a little bit. So just going down here and loosen that out without trying to stab the bulb. So there we go, got it loosened up now. So now let's pull out our garlic and see what we got. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. So loosen that soil up right there. Look at that guys, nice healthy garlic. Couldn't ask for more than that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go around and I'm going to harvest a good majority of these. I'm gonna leave a few because I've got a few other people that are wanting to harvest some. I'll leave that for them up here. So we're gonna go down to this other end. We're gonna start clearing out some of this garlic. So come along with me. All right guys, so we got about half of this garlic harvested. That's a lot of garlic. That is a ton of garlic actually. And that's just half. Wow. Okay, so what do we need to do now that we've got it harvested? Well, let me show you the next step. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna lay this garlic out on the tailgate of my truck. We're gonna let this dry down in the sun for just a little while I do some other things and help it develop that nice papery skin on the outside. So we're gonna spread these pretty thin
and just lay them out here to dry for just a little while. It helps to lay them in the sun for a while if you know where you're not going to be expecting rain. If it's going to rain, put them under something. You don't want to get these wet. Another thing is you don't want to wash the dirt off of these. If you wash them, you're encouraging fungus and mildew and mold, all that good stuff. So the dirt's not going to hurt. When you're ready to eat it after it cures, then you can get the dirt off of it. And plus it helps to let it dry down a little bit before you try to get the dirt off. It kind of makes it a little more sandy, and that helps a lot. So you know how I said get something to lift under those garlic so you don't break the stem? Yeah, well, sometimes I don't listen to my own advice, and I have a few of these that I broke the stem on because I thought I could just pull them out. So that happens. What do you do with these now that you've broken the stem? Use them first. Use this as fresh garlic. Use it sparingly because it's going to be pretty strong, but use that fresh garlic and use this before you use the ones with the stems on it. The reason why you want that stem on there is it's part of the curing process. It's how you're going to hang these up. It's how you're going to let these dry down, everything like that. And that's what we're going to talk about next, is how to cure your garlic and why you need to cure your garlic. So let's go talk about that. Alright guys, I'm back home now. I'm in my garage, and as you can see, we have a lot of this garlic hanging up here in the garage. This is what we call the curing process. This is what's going to preserve your garlic for long-term use throughout the year, even into next year, if you cure it properly. What curing is doing is it's drying that garlic down and getting those nice layers of papery skin on the outside that will allow it to dry down and preserve it. So the way we're going to cure this garlic is I suggest to take 5 to 10 bulbs with the stalk still on and put those into a bundle and make multiple bundles rather than one large bundle. So that way you get good airflow around each bulb. Make sure that they're getting nice and dry, that they're not up against each other causing humidity or for them to start rotting up against each other. So smaller bundles and more bundles is better than having one giant bundle. So you'll want to do this for about 3 weeks. Let those dry down and cure for about 3 weeks in a nice warm dark location like a garage or a shed, anything like that. A barn is great for curing garlic. And once you have it cured for about 3 weeks, you're ready to use it. You want to then take these, you can cut the tops off of them if you want. I just kind of leave them hanging here. The best way to store your garlic is to cut the tops off about 1 inch above the bulb and then store it in a very cool and dry location, something like a basement, in a closet, something to where it'll keep cool, dark, and dry. And you want to use the ones that are damaged first, or if they start sprouting, use those, and just try to keep an eye on them as they go along. Be sure to check them regularly. Make sure there's not any mold or any kind of rot going on. If they're getting soft, you either want to use those first or get rid of them. And what I'm going to do is later on in the fall, I'm going to take my largest bulbs of garlic, and that's what I'm going to replant out into the garden for next year's crop. So this is a very sustainable crop. You can just keep harvesting, replanting, and just keep the same strains going. And that's what I love about garlic. It's the crop that you can just keep growing right on your homestead. You don't have to keep buying more seeds or anything like that. You can keep this going for generations. So that's all I have for this video, guys. If you have any more questions for me, leave it down in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Go check us out on Facebook and Instagram and hit that bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I hope you'll join me right here on The More You Grow.